Okay, welcome to our presentation. This is USI Tech. And obviously USI stands for United Software Intelligence. Transform your life. So, when I first came across this software, I thought, and this opportunity, I thought, well, what the heck, here we go, another automated thing. I've seen a lot of these, and, quite honestly, I was thinking the same thing probably you were when you first saw it, or if you're looking at this for the first time today, then you're thinking the same thing. Here we go. USI Tech is United Software Intelligence. It is a software, not a financial institution. Experts in fully automated software. They have over 20 years experience, and they have over 100 versions of the software. So it's not like they're brand new and just kind of beginning this process. The version has been on sale, has been developed for over 7 years. And it's got a 3-year solid track record. I've seen that. It's great. It's phenomenal. There are people in this organization, in this company, that have actually been using the software for the last 3 years and can certainly verify the results that they've got with it. It's a click and go system, and this I love. I've seen where they've had quote unquote automated, but in the background they really want you to learn to trade. This really is a no expertise, kind of plug and play and away you go. And this gives you the opportunity to play with the big players. So the software is a €600 one-off fee. There's no monthly fees, no contracts. That got me excited when I saw this, because one thing people hate is being locked into monthly payments, and that's the biggest reason people will not join a business, is because of that monthly commitment. And of course you're promised the riches, but it never seems to happen. So ultimately, instead of making money every month, you got money coming out of your pocket every month. This is completely monitored by and configured by a whole team of experts. They have actual in-house software. It's in-house, so it's non-existent in the market. You'll see why. They've built their own indicators. Now, if you don't understand all this stuff I'm saying to you, it's not a big deal. Basically, an indicator is something that is used in the market to signal changes and things. Well, instead of using what's in the marketplace, because they trade so uniquely, they've actually created their own. This takes the complexity and the emotion right out of your trading. It's literally plug and play. Hit the button, plug and play. The strategy has been unseen publicly in any other software. This is certainly the first time I've come across it. And what happens is they work up with up to 20 pairs of currency. So they noticed that certain currencies seem to work opposite to each other. And not all the time, but 80 to 90% of the time, they've figured out that these currencies go opposite. When one's going up, the other one's going down. So they group them using some correlation to kind of scalp the market and produce regular profits. So the great thing is, it doesn't matter if the markets go up or down. They look for these correlations, and when they see it, they get into a trade, and then they quickly, or maybe not quickly, but in other words, they take advantage of that trade and kind of grab their profit out of that particular trade. Now, this is operating in a $6 billion industry. They work 24/7 to produce this consistent results. So, this is a highly volatile market, but what they managed to do is they've been managed to, by doing the trading the way they're doing it, they managed to smooth it out. They managed to be able to go in and, instead of getting the big profits like some of the big players do, because that's why everyone gets into forex, they have kind of looked at it and said, look, let's not worry about going for huge profits. Let's just go for consistency. And that's exactly what they've done. And the record, of course, speaks for itself. they obviously have proven track records that you can look at, and not just from what some people do is they'll create a robot, and then they'll take the market data and then they'll run the data through the robot and say, oh, look how good this is. They're not running it live in a live market, and that's the good thing about this. It's been actually running previous to this. Now, you'll see some results. This is what a typical standard chart looks like. And if this scares you, that's okay. Don't worry about it, because all you need to be aware is that this is a trading platform called MT4. These are trades that are going on, and the correlation is USI Tech. This is basically the automated robot running in the background. So it's very simple. That's what I love about this program. I mean, look, what do you got to do? You got to register with USI Tech. You get your software license, which is a one-time fee. You open your own trading account at the broker. We're going to talk about the broker in a moment. You install the software. You deposit money in your trading account, and then you activate the software. Now, this is very hands-off. And if you don't know how to install the software, it's very easy. The broker walks you through that, or actually there's going to be PDF documents that are going to walk you right through. Plus, of course, we're all here to help you. So you don't have to feel like, oh man, I don't understand computers. I don't know a thing about it. It doesn't matter. This is plug and play. Once it's up and running, you literally do nothing. Now, the broker is one of the most important pieces to this. Trade the Royal way, Royal Financial Trading. They are registered in Australia, and we're going to see why they are a great broker. They're fully authorized and regulated by ASIC. Now, anyone that lives in Australia, and maybe some people around the world, might realize that Australia is the most stringent when it comes to financial regulation, and they're very serious. 100% of the money, 100% of the trading is what's called a straight-through processor, meaning they trade right on the ECN. They exchange directly against other traders. So in other words, you're not competing against your own broker. Now, there are what are called money makers, and basically you trade against your own broker, and there's money made on that. This broker is straight through. It's right to the exchange. There's no games being played with the broker. Money is deposited into a segregated account at the National Australian Bank. That means only you have access to your money. The company you're looking at they're not a financial institution. They produce software. You're buying a product. So when you go to put your money into trade, your money is held separately in an account. So even if something were to happen to the broker, which has a 10-year track record, your money is safe. It's just like opening a bank account. It's your bank account. It's your trading account. You have access to the funds at any and all times that you wish. Now, we're going to get into this matrix thing, and some of you may have not seen matrices. It's actually a really simple concept, but it does tend to confuse people. So we're going to go through it real simple. It's a 3x12 matrix with real spillover. What does that mean? Spillover means sometimes you end up with people in your matrix and you don't know how they got there. And it's the greatest feeling on earth when you're qualified and you actually make a little bit of money from work that you didn't actually do personally, right? It's indirect. Maybe people you brought in, or we'll see that in a minute, okay? And it's 12 compressed levels deep. What does that mean, 12 compressed levels? Well, as I go through the comp, you're going to understand what compressed means, and I'll point that out and highlight that as I go through this. This really is one of the greatest systems ever created. So what do you have? You have a structure of 3x3, okay? And what does that mean? Well, that means if you're at the top there and you have positions underneath you. So the color, the first color shows a position. That means it's available. The second color shows a partner. That means somebody you've actually sponsored. And then ultimately spillover. So in other words, you could have joined the business, and before you've even had time to tell somebody about it or get them enrolled, someone above you put someone in your first position. How does that happen? Well, if that's you at the top, you only have a choice on your first leg of 3 people. Once those 3 people have been filled, then you have to go to the next row. And since each of those 3 are just like you, they each have their own 3 positions. Now you have 3 people who each have 3 positions. And since all of those 3 also ultimately have the ability to have 3 people, and so on and so on and so on, right? Just like the old commercial. They tell 2 friends and they tell 2 friends, right? So now, normally, this concept, this is great concept, but normally it doesn't work. Why? Because there's no solid product behind it, right? Usually someone comes up and they say, wow, we've got this great $500 product and it's self-improvement. We're gonna sell this thing $500 and you can get these books, but no one cares about the self-improvement books because you can get them on the internet free. So they're all just trying to make money. So as you go out to other people, people say, well, what's a product? Well, it's books. Well, really, it's books. Yeah, okay, yeah, no thanks. Because they realize that people are only doing it because they're changing money from one hand to the next. And that's called a Ponzi, right? If there's no actual value to the product, it's a Ponzi. Well, in this case, we have a workable product, and we're going to see some examples in a minute. And so when you combine this matrix with a powerful product, the result is amazing. And it's happening on the team now. We're seeing people that are fired up, excited. Oh my God, I can't sleep. I didn't know that it was this, you know. Now, also in this matrix, and I'm going to show you in a minute, also why it is super powerful is because of what's called qualification. And that's a deadly word depending on how you have to qualify, because normally it's unrealistic. They make it so hard to qualify because you have to, you know, sponsor a gazillion people. And so we'll see that in a second as I go on. So the marketing plan, as I said, you have your own position and you have 3 direct partners. The structure of 3x3 matrix always begins with the first 3 positions in the first level, always left to right on the next free space. And again, they may not be direct. You may end up with somebody who is direct to you in terms of placement. Now, you're going to find there's, pardon me, you're going to find there's 2 terms in this type of marketing plan. There's what is called direct. Direct means you sponsored them wherever they are in the matrix. In other words, they could be 3 levels down. It doesn't matter. You sponsored them, but you, once your first 3 positions are full, you have no choice but to put them below your team. And that's why everyone kind of helps everyone. So that's good. So there's placement and there's direct. So if they're direct to you, that means that, again, you sponsored them personally, but then the placement is the next thing. So in this case, these are direct partners. So given their color, they would be sponsored directly to that first position, and they would be so they'd not only be placed under that position, but they're also direct to that position. Okay, so and you'll see that as you go through the thing. Now, as you see, the pattern continues on. Now, if we look at number 1, the first number 1 on the first level, all right, if we're looking at this from the perspective, let's say you're the top guy and you're looking down, that's your matrix, right? Now, you look at the first number 1. Well, that's now, if we're looking at it from that guy's position, his matrix begins with his first 3. But of course, his first 3 are part of your second level. In other words, this thing overlaps all the way down. Everyone's one level away. So it's important that you understand that there's matrices inside of matrices. So you know, when you say, oh my God, this is going to get out of control, it really isn't, because a lot of positions are overlapped to each other, right? So in other words, this number one's first three people, 1, 2, and 3, they're your second line. They're common to you. So regardless of how those people got there, you're going to get paid if you are qualified. All right, now let's look at this case. We don't live in a perfect world. So sometimes you're going to end up with spillover. So you can see this guy came in before he was able to do anything. His first position was spillover. Somebody from the top placed him. Now, this is what I mean. Placement, he's under, let's say that's you at the very top. He's placed under you. But he is direct to somebody else. That's why he's blue. He's called spillover, right? Or green position. Oh no, sorry, green is authorized. So blue is spillover, right? And you can see there's various number of spillover that can happen in a matrix. And this is what makes it powerful, because think about this. You could get people from above you, but you could also get people below you. So if you bring in number 2, on the first level, you bring in number 2, and number 2 goes and sponsors people. Well, that's spillover to you, right? Because you didn't bring them in direct, but they still end up in your matrix. And that is powerful, and we're going to see why in a moment. And if your blood isn't pumping after I get through this, then maybe it's not the business for you. No disrespect, but this is huge. All right. Now, every time you sell a robot directly, you're going to get 120 euro. That's irregardless. It doesn't matter if you're qualified, not qualified. That has no bearing on it. You make a direct sale of the robot, you're going to get 120 euro. End of story, right? Forever and a day. You sponsor 10 people, you'll get 1,200 euro. No problem, all right? In addition to the 120 euro, there's another 20% or 150 euro. Now remember, this is coming from the sale of the robot. They can do this. Why? Well, because the robot costs 600 euro, okay? So that's only so far $270 out of the 600 that they're actually giving back to us. Why are they doing that? Well, they're not super interested in making money from the matrix. You'll see how they make money in a moment. So 150 euro. Now, how does that work? Well, we're going to see that too. The way that works is the 150, so somebody buys software. Let's say down here, this guy buys software, right? 150 is going to be shared with all the upline partners, and it's going to go up 12 levels. Now, let's say in this particular example, we're only down a few levels from the top, and so when the system looks back up and it looks as far up as it can, let's say it only gets up to 6 levels. But even though there's 6 levels, there's only 1, 2, 3 people qualified. What does that mean? It means it takes 150 and it divides by those 3 qualified people. That's 50, 50, and 50. You see, if you don't understand what I just said, either you're not familiar with matrices or you're new, that's okay. Let me tell you what this means. Most companies will not pay the 150. Why? Because they'll give each position a certain amount. Oh, this position will be maybe 5%. This will be 3%. Well, you know, it'll work down or backwards. It'll maybe start out 1 and go down, because of course on your 12th level there's like a potential of 500,000 people. You'll see that. Okay. Now, so what they say is, well, look, all these positions aren't qualified, so we don't have to pay that. We don't have to pay that. We don't have to pay that. So we'll just, you know, out of the 150, they might pay 50 euro. But in this company, they said, no, we're going to look back up. We're going to compress it. That means it doesn't matter if this guy's in here. We're going to keep going up until we get right to the top of the matrix. And if we find 12 qualified people, we will split that among 12 qualified people. If we only find 3, we'll split it among 3. That is absolutely amazing that they do that. And that's one of the reasons that this is so powerful, because people are doing a simple thing and they're making money and they're going, where's this coming from? How's this working? Well, this is how it's working. Now, compressed means just that. Normally, this would count up 12 positions, and they don't care whether you're qualified or not. Oh, you're not qualified, too bad. You're not qualified, too bad. You're not qualified. No, this thing keeps looking up until it gets 12 qualified. And if it doesn't get 12 qualified, if it gets 3, that's fine. Those 3 get paid out. So what does that mean? That means if you're here or here, you want to go get yourself qualified because you just missed out on commission for doing nothing. I mean, really, it's great. Okay. Now, so the key question is, how do you get qualified? Okay. Well, you know how you get qualified, and this is stupidly simple. I've seen this. I'm just going to go back here for a minute. Okay. Normally to get qualified, yeah, let me go here. Normally to get qualified, what they'll do is, look, you'll see the numbers here, 27, 81, 243. What they'll say is, well, you know, if you want this level right here, we'll pay your first 9 people. Anything that gets done in this branch right here, we'll qualify you by, you have to sponsor 2 people. And then if you want the next level, you got to sponsor another 2 people. So that's 4. And this has got a lot more. You'll have to do another 3 people if you want to get this extra 81. By the time you get down 12 levels, you're easily 12 to 15 people you have to go and personally sponsor. Most people can't sponsor 6, let alone 12 to 15. This company said, look, we want to level the playing field. We don't care who you are. We don't care what your background is. If you go out and you personally sponsor 3 people, you're qualified for life for your entire matrix. That is absolutely insane, folks. I've never seen that in this industry ever. So to have this opportunity to create some real income simply by sponsoring 3 people. Now, what does that mean? Okay, look, this is a worst case scenario. If you take €150 and you divide by 12 levels, because that's the most you can go down is 12 levels, or go back up rather, the minimum you're going to get is €12.5. That's the minimum. You sell, if a robot is sold in your team anywhere in your matrix, right? Anywhere in your matrix, the minimum you'll make is €12. That is insane. You know, I've seen on this 12th level, I've seen it be $1.50, 75 cents. I've never seen €12. Never, right? So look at this. You sponsor 3 people, and those 3 go and sponsor 3. That's 9 people, right? On this level alone, let's not even think about deep. Let's not even think very deep. Let's just think that we got our 3, and we taught 3 to get 3. Do you know we've already done that with a number of people? Okay, that's €112 in your pocket. You just sponsored 3. That's all you did, and you taught those 3 to go find 3. So you actually didn't do the work. You just helped your 3 get their 3. Right? You didn't contact any more people. You just had the 3 you had, and you said, go do what I did, sponsor 3. And that's €112 in your pocket. Now, you help those next level, those 27 go get 3, you're now 81. That's €1,000. Guess what? Do you know how many people said to me, I don't have $1,000 to trade? Guess what? You just got your $1,000 to trade, right? Now, this will happen. I guarantee you. It may not work perfectly right away. You may not get 3 that get 3 that get 3, but this matrix, you're going to get some guy who's going to get this, and he's going to go, oh my God, I'm done. And he's out there and he's running, right? And you're gonna, by the time you get down here, if you had a perfect matrix and you had 531, that would be 6.6 million. Now, that's just on that level. So if you add this all the way up, it's about $10 million if your matrix were entirely full. But you know what? What if it's half of that 10 million? What if it's a quarter? What if it's a third? I mean, do you get the point? If there's a robot sold anywhere in your matrix and you're qualified, you're going to get a minimum of 12.5 euro, no matter what. It's just, I don't even know how to explain that anymore, right? It's, the numbers are the numbers. And if we've all gone out and done stupid things in the past, like buying books and all this other stuff, imagine what we can do with a real, honest to goodness product that actually makes money, right? Think about that. Now, the best is yet to come. You see, the broker is going to share the broker pays the company back broker fees, because as they open up accounts and more accounts and more accounts, the broker says, well, you're bringing us so much business, here, we're going to pay you back some broker fees. All right. The company has said, well, we can't make money monthly. We can't pay you monthly from the robot because it's a one-time fee. But what we can do is we can share some of the broker fees. Now, this is based on a $2,000 Euro trade account on each level of the 3x3. So your first three partners, if they have a $2,000 Euro account, then this is ultra conservative. They made this to be conservative. You'll earn, based on the trades, about 3.13 euro. Okay? So that's about 9 euro a month. Now, I don't know about you, but if I had three partners in my business and I was trading a trading account and I was consistently making money over time, and I just made 9 euros a month on those three partners that also had trading accounts, I'd be a pretty happy camper to get anything back monthly when I'm not paying anything to them monthly. So you get the point. Here we are. We're growing a team. Now, by the way, those three go and sponsor three people. You're also getting another 3 euros. Now, by the way, this is 75%. The other 25% goes directly to you as a sponsor. So if you actually sponsored your first three people, not only will you get the 313, you'll also get 25% of that as well. You know, whatever, I haven't worked that out, but maybe it's $7, whatever it is. No, it'll be less than 3. I'm sorry, this is 75%, so maybe $1, whatever. The point is, you get 25% direct commission. Okay. Now, this may not seem like a lot, but let's say you built up a team of 2,000. Okay, that's 6,000. And again, that's not you sponsoring 2,000 people directly. That's your people getting people getting people getting people. And are the training accounts going to grow? Well, if people are making money, are people going to take money out? Absolutely not. They're not going to take money out. They're going to grow their account. So over time, the accounts are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. All right. Now, there are some bonuses coming up, and these bonuses are only good till November 1st. So this is what you want to do. And by the way, today's Saturday. You've got until tomorrow to do this, and it's very doable. What they're going to do is they're going to give you a build-up bonus. So for 3 or more direct partners that have software licenses in a weekly billing period, they're going to take 15 euros from every single software license sold, and they put that into a pool. So for example, if they have 100 sold licenses, they'll multiply that by 15. The over result is 1,500 euro. If only 5 people brought in 3 people in one given week, they'll take that 1,500 and they'll divide by 5 and they'll get 300 euro. Now, my first week, 2 weeks ago, I got 111 euros. Actually, no, last week I got 111 euros. This week, I qualified again. I think I'm sitting about 150 euro. So unless more people qualify, and that's a cool thing about the software, that you'll see your wallet go up and down. So in other words, as somebody qualifies, I was over, let's say $1,000 this week, 1,200 or whatever. Somebody else got qualified. As long as you qualify before the Sunday, you then will share in the profit. Either the matrix or in this if you get 3 people qualified. So this is like an extra little bonus. So this is something you may want to shoot for. If you're sitting on 2 people, make sure you get your third licensed by Sunday midnight. Now, as long as they've put in, either done it by PayPal, which is instant, or as long as they've sent off the wire to get their to pay for you account funded, you can send in the proof that they sent the wire, that they can send it in, that they got that they've actually sent the wire to pay for you. And if when the company sees that proof, the company will actually approve their license, and they can pay for it as soon as the money hits their account. So that way you still qualify you for your weekly commissions. So that's something very powerful that can be done. And by the way, remember that this is only good until November 1. They're offering this because they want to build the company and make sure we've got a good amount of trading accounts up and running. So we're not coming in with just 2 or 3 accounts. Now our 60-day pre-launch competition. If you go do this 3x3 without spillover, that means you basically sponsor 12 people directly. Okay. If you sponsor 12 directs, you have a trading account in the amount of 5,000 euros at the broker, a 3,000 or a 1,000. In other words, you're entered in a draw. I'm sorry, I didn't say that properly. You have a chance of entering a draw, attending a draw, and you could win 5, 3, or 1,000 euros in a trading account. And depending on the sales, there could be multiple $1,000 euro accounts at the broker of Royal Financial Trading. So that's very exciting. And that's 12 direct people. So you do that before November 1, and you'll be entered in that draw. Now, this is pretty aggressive. But if you were to sponsor 3x3x3x3, I think it's 120 direct partners, you will share 1% of the monthly net income. And again, this is called a Founders Club. They'll have an advisory board member meeting once a year, and you'll be invited to this exclusive strategy meeting. Look, if you're a real go-getter and you think you could do this in the next less than 30 days, go for it, right? It's pretty aggressive. This started during the days of pre-launch, which were 60 days. So now over 30 days has gone out of that original 60-day competition. So register now, take part in an international business opportunity with exceptional business potential. Don't wait for others to join first. We are ready for worldwide launch. Now, there is one thing I want to go over real quickly. This is, hold on, I'm going to stop the recording only because